The glass facade of Regal Velocity Motors in downtown Chicago gleamed beneath the morning sun like a cathedral built not for worship, but for wealth. Polished marble floors stretched beneath precision-cut lighting, casting smooth reflections of chrome, carbon fiber, and cashmere. The space was quiet, as luxury demanded. Conversation came in hushed tones, the kind spoken by people with platinum cards and tailored collars. There was no laughter here, only soft clinks, signature pens, and the purr of seven-figure dreams on wheels. In the center of the showroom sat a centerpiece so rare that people flew in from Dubai and London just to touch it. The Helix Aeros GT $3 million of unapologetic engineering. Its obsidian frame shimmered with a menacing restraint, as if daring you to try to deserve it. A small, discreet placard on its windshield bore a single phrase, "By private appointment only." At 10:12 a.m., no one noticed the arrival of two teenage boys. They came not in a limo, but on bikes, the kind worn down by Chicago's summer's faded paint, loose chains, city grit embedded in the tires. Micah and Zayden Langston weren't dressed for this world. At 17 and 15, they wore basic white tees, utility shorts, and sneakers so well-loved they could barely keep out the wind. No designer threads. No expensive watches. Just wide eyes and quiet curiosity. They pushed open the glass doors with the kind of hesitance born from too many rooms they weren't sure they were allowed in. The doors whispered close behind them, sealing them inside a world that hadn't invited them. Micah, tall and wiry, with eyes that studied everything, nodded toward the Helix. "That's it," he murmured to Zayden. "That's the one I showed you online." Zayden's breath caught in his throat. The vehicle looked like something drawn from imagination, a dream too bold for their world. The boys didn't touch it. They didn't lean too close. They just stood there, side by side, admiring. "Can I help you?" The voice cut through the showroom with a razor edge of condescension. The boys turned. Standing nearby was Everett Blaintop, salesman at Regal for 5 years running. Every inch of him screamed curated wealth. Navy pinstripe suit, custom cufflinks, teeth too white to be true. He didn't smile. He measured them like expired produce. "We were just looking at the Helix," Micah said carefully, his tone polite, his hands still at his sides. "Does it really hit 60 in under 2.9? Everett's smirk was instantaneous. His eyes dropped to Micah's shoes, lingered on Zayden's scuffed kneecaps. "Gentlemen," he said, each syllable dripping syrupy disdain, "that car starts at 3 million. Perhaps you'd feel more at home in our pre-owned section." Micah didn't flinch. Zayden's smile faltered. Everett continued, "We don't really do casual tours. This isn't a museum." Behind them, a couple in designer sunglasses giggled. The woman's expression was half pity, half amusement. The man whispered something under his breath, something neither brother could hear, but both understood. The message was clear: you don't belong here. Micah nodded slowly. "Sorry to bother you," he said. He turned. Zayden followed. Their footsteps echoed against the marble soft, yet somehow the loudest sound in the room. They were almost at the door when a voice behind them called, "Wait." They turned. A woman approached from behind a side desk. Mid-30s, afro curls tied back in a low bun, black slacks, cream blouse, and a badge. Celeste Warren. Her face wasn't scornful. It wasn't indulgent. It was still. "I heard you asking about the Aeros GT," she said. "It's an incredible piece of engineering. You want a closer look?" The boys hesitated. "When not," Micah began. "You're curious," she interrupted gently. "That's enough." She crouched to eye level, explained the specs like a mentor, not a guard. She opened the gull-wing doors. "You want to sit inside?" she asked. Zayden's eyes lit up. "Really?" She nodded. "Really? No selfies. No shouting. Just quiet reverence." When they stepped out, Celeste handed Micah her business card. "If you have questions, you call me directly. And you're welcome here anytime." Everett, watching from a distance, scoffed to a colleague. "Wasting her time." Celeste heard. She didn't react, because something in those boys reminded her of who she used to be: hopeful, underestimated, and not yet warned to dream quietly. The ride home was silent. The Langston house sat behind a minimalist iron gate on the edge of Lake Forest, camouflaged by trees and tasteful restraint. The gate clicked open at the buzz of Micah's fob. Their bikes crunched down the curved gravel drive, past sculptures and rose hedges trimmed by teams, not hands. They left their bikes by the steps and entered. Their father, Dr. Desmond Langston, 47, sat in a study, not playing the grand piano, just thinking at it. He wore a black Henley, wool slacks, and a silence so deep it shaped the room. "You're back early," he said, without turning. "We didn't stay long," Zayden replied. Desmond turned now, studied their expressions. "What happened?" The story came slowly. Micah described the car. Zayden described Everett. The laughter, the looks, and finally, Celeste. Desmond listened. He didn't ask for names. He didn't ask for more. He just absorbed. At the end, he asked one thing. "Did she know who you were?" "No," Micah said. "We didn't say our last name." Desmond nodded once. Then silence. Then the question they didn't expect. "Why do you think they treated you that way?" Zayden's voice was quiet. "Because of how we looked," Micah added. "Because of who they thought we weren't." Desmond stood and walked to the window. "People confuse image with worth," he said. "That speaks more about them than you." He didn't give them a lecture. He gave them clarity. That night, in the soft orange glow of his study lamp, Desmond opened his private contact log. He called a name labeled simply R. 2 Helix Aeros GTs, he said. 1 obsidian, 1 royal blue with gold accents. Deliver both to Regal Velocity by 8:45 sharp. Not earlier. Not later. I'll arrive on foot. Yes, sir. Any branding. No logos, he said. Let presence speak. He hung up, opened a drawer, pulled out a silver pen engraved with DWL. A gift from the investor who once believed in him when no bank would. He hadn't used it in years. Until now. He signed the purchase orders in silence. At 8:45 a.m. The next morning, the city of Chicago blinked. 2 Helix Aeros GTs glided into place in front of Regal Velocity, doors closed, engines cut, side by side like twin declarations of quiet power. Not a single rev. Not a single sound. Only precision. Inside, jaws dropped. Customers stopped mid-sentence. Employees stilled. Cameras came out. A man dropped his espresso. "That's not just a Helix," someone whispered. "That's 2. Then, the passenger door of the blue car opened. Micah stepped out. Same shirt. Same shoes. Nothing changed, but everything different. Zayden followed. Then Desmond Langston stepped out. His charcoal suit absorbed the sunlight. His expression? Unreadable. He didn't announce himself. He simply existed, and that was enough. Everett, mid-laugh with a trainee, saw them through the glass. His laughter died instantly. The glass doors parted. Desmond walked in, his sons flanking him like quiet sentinels. He approached the front desk. "I'd like to speak to the staff member who assisted my sons yesterday," he said, his tone even. Everett practically lunged. "That was me, sir. I helped them." Desmond turned his head, just slightly. "No," he said, soft but cutting. "You weren't the one who helped them." The showroom fell silent. "Are your cameras operational?" Desmond asked the floor manager. "Yes, sir. Everything's archived. Review yesterday's footage." "I'll wait." 10 minutes passed. Then 20. The manager returned pale. The staff member was Celeste Warren. Mr. Blaine misrepresented the interaction. His behavior was discriminatory. Desmond didn't look at Everett. He didn't need to. "You judge my sons by their skin," he said. "By their shoes. And you failed not just as a professional, but as a person." Everett said nothing. Could say nothing. Effective immediately, the manager announced, "Mr. Blaine is terminated." Security arrived. Everett walked out through the same doors the boys had exited the day before, only this time, with less than he came in with. Desmond turned to the manager. "Bring me MS. Warren." Celeste appeared moments later, blinking at the sudden attention. "You respected my sons," Desmond said. "You listened. That matters." She smiled, confused. They were polite. It was no trouble. Desmond nodded. "They liked that car. He pointed at the Helix Eros. That's over 3 million, she began. Then make it 3.1 and ensure the full commission goes to you. He pulled out the silver pen. Signed. Folded. Done. As he handed the keys to his sons, the entire floor watched. Happy early birthday, he said. No fanfare. No blotting. Just dignity restored. Celeste found a sealed envelope waiting on her desk by noon. Inside, a promotion. Senior consultant. Effective immediately. She didn't weep. She didn't post online. She simply straightened her spine and walked the floor. Because respect doesn't shout. It stands. And kindness? Kindness always makes a comeback.